Hope all is well. We back at it. I told y'all I was gonna be back. Told y'all I was going to be back. Let me turn this cooler off. Yes, yes. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button too. Continue to show love, y'all, man. I'm gonna be dropping videos like no other. You know what I'm saying? Because this is hard work. Hard work pays off. Um, don't be so focused on the reward, man. You can't be focused on a reward when you want to see progress in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you really just gotta focus on um, just being consistent. The more you consistent, the more you will be successful. So 50 Cent no longer has to rap anymore. It's a rap, guys. 50 Cent no longer has to rap anymore. He no longer has to respond to rap beefs, freestyles, none of the above. You know what I'm saying? This man is like, he's on a whole totally different level from these other rappers like Fabulous and Jim Jones and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get it. 50 Cent does not have to respond. Like, we are entertained. 50 Cent, we are entertained. You know, you are putting these, you're doing skits now, you're dropping all this different type of comedic content, you're doing movies, you're doing documentaries, you know. I haven't even watched that Power series with Tommy or whatever. People are telling me that's good. So I have something to binge watch now. Um, you know, I've watched all the other Power series and all other kind of stuff. So he doesn't have to, you know, when you get to a certain part of your life, man, there's certain things you don't have to do no more. And 50 Cent has gotten to that level, to that part of his life where he no longer has to respond to someone who does a freestyle against him or at him, or a disgruntled rapper or celebrity, whatever the case is. Like, he don't gotta spit no more bars, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether he still got it or not, but like, that's not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, and this is where, you know, some people are saying this is where hip hop died. You know what I'm saying? When 50 Cent stopped responding to individuals that are coming at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I get it. I get it. Like, you know, I don't think it completely died or whatever. I just think that, you know, when you're trying to reach at the throne, you know, it's like Jay-Z. Jay-Z's not going to respond to everyone who gets at him. Jay-Z is at a he is at a at a level where it's like, yo, I don't have to respond to you. I don't, there's no need for that, you know? So, you know, Jim is going through a lot, man. He's, you know, 50 is posting stuff saying his lights is out, ain't got no AC. I mean, no heat in the building. You know, mind you, they're in a warehouse. They're in a warehouse, so you're gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? Just not, you're not gonna see so much heat in the warehouse, you know. But shout out to 50 Cent, man. Shout out to 50 Cent. You know, he's doing this thing. Um, Moreover, you know, us as a people, we got to do our thing. You understand what I'm saying? We got to stay focused out here on these streets. Steve Johnson, what's going on, man? I had a very good conversation earlier. You know, we was talking about health and how important it is to peace, on how important it is to stay healthy and to eat properly, not skip meals, keep protein consistently in your diet, stay hydrated. I think, you know, being hydrated is so underrated when it comes to you know, our health, our eating habits. Um, Yes, yes. Thank you. I appreciate you. And you know, I just want to give a shout out to my doctor. You know, I have a new PCP, and she is she's great. She's awesome. You know, she's African. She's young. She's very preventive when it comes to things or whatever. And I just, you know, I think you guys should really, like, you know, she's referring me to a nutritionist. So now I could, you know, come up with better better meal plans, because I found myself, like, you know, so a lot of times we get up in the morning and we just drink a cup of coffee. Like, that's not the best thing to do, because if you got sugar in that coffee or whatever, like, that sugar hitting your bloodstreams is not the best thing for you to do first thing in the morning. You know, the first thing in the morning is we should be drinking water, and then we should be getting some type of protein and carbs in our system. And of course, you can have a little bit of sugar, and you can get that sugar from fruit. You can get that sugar from coffee. You can from wherever. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, like I told y'all earlier, you know, one of my nursing co-workers, one of my nurse co-workers, he is, you know, he was suffering from migraines or whatever. And, you know, I told him, I was like, you know, besides you working overnight, you know, you can't go too long without eating. You know, you need to eat at least every 4 hours, you know, even if it's peanuts and fruit or whatever the case is. Like, blueberries and strawberries have become my favorite fruits. You understand what I'm saying? Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Like, those are keto friendly fruits that you can eat. They're not too high in sugar. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times we're accustomed to eating, like, the most famous fruits that are good, right? The grapes, the apples, the bananas. Those are all packed with sugar. You know, now it's not bad sugar, but that's the type of sugar that we don't want to overindulge in, and you know, eat, like, you know, just eating too much of it. But, you know, on a health note, yes, blueberries have become my favorite fruit, and organic. Try to get the organic fruit. That is one of the most important things. Like, you will literally taste the difference in eating organic fruit. I'm telling you guys, I had a good conversation with my bro the other day, and you know, we got to be careful with them GMOs. You know, see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, I like, he really broke it down for me, and, you know, you see why certain things are more expensive. It's more expensive for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So that means we got to get out there, we got to grind, we got to hustle. You know what I mean? Like, all the way to our living, you know, how we live, like, you know, the type of place we live in, whether it's a house or apartment. Like, you want to live somewhere where it's luxurious, or it's clean, or it's the area is nice. You know, you work hard so you could get those type of rewards. You understand what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, like, we got to stay healthy. We got to keep our mental health intact. You know what I'm saying? If you need to see a therapist or something like that, go see a therapist, a nutritionist, whatever. Whatever it is, man. You know what I mean? And just stay righteous, yo. Stay righteous, yo. I know y'all watching the NFL game out there. Right now, the 49ers is playing the Seattle Seahawks. That game, yo, that game started off with um what was it, a return, kickoff return to a touchdown. Like, yo, that game was crazy. And I think Seattle just might win this game, man. The momentum is there. The momentum is there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button too. Let me know in the chat where you guys are from too. Like, if y'all from New Orleans, if you're from New York, if you're from Chicago, if you're from Alabama, or whatever the case is, you know, what do you identify your sexuality as? Wow. I identify myself, my sexuality, as a um heterosexual. I'm a heterosexual. I'm straight. I love women. I've always loved women since I could remember. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't judge individuals who like the same sex or whatever the case is. Me personally, due to my religion and my beliefs, I don't believe in that. Moreover, I do know that people have their own way of life. You know, if you're attracted to the same sex, then, you know, I'm not going to be mad at you and say you're going to go to hell or you're a bad person. That's just not something that I'm into. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that, you know, some of that could be genetics. You know, some of that could be the way you were raised. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, if a young boy is raised around a bunch of women, there's a big chance, you know, he might end up acting like a woman, and you know, he might not be gay, but he might be a little feminine. You know what I'm saying? So it's different things that come with that. You know, you might have a kid who's raised in a gay household, or like, you know, gay marriage household. You know, so yes, that is my preference. That is what I identify my sexuality as. You know, what do you identify your sexuality as? You know, and this is a judgment-free zone. And if you're confused, some people are confused. They don't know they're attracted to men and women. You know what I'm saying? So they might not look at themselves as gay, you know? And and that's crazy. Like, does gay mean that if you're attracted to both sexes, does that mean you're gay? You know what I'm saying? Or that makes you, well, I don't know if that makes you bisexual, something like that. But yeah, yeah, yep. So yeah, man, we are definitely in a world of judgment. You know, people are very judgmental when it comes to things they don't believe in. Met a young lady the other day. Well, I was talking to a young lady the other day, and I didn't know she was Muslim. I did not know she was Muslim, and she told me she went to Philly and went on a trip and left the trip being Muslim. She had converted from being a Catholic to Muslim. You know, so it's you know, I have a ton of respect for the Muslim faith. I have a ton of respect for them. You know, morals, the way they pray, how many times a day they pray. They're disciplined. They're disciplined. But I haven't studied the Muslim faith that much. I've not read the Quran. I just know that they take their religion very serious. And when I mean very, you know, very serious, I mean like when they're in the mosque or whatever, like when they are not in the mosque, I'm sorry, you know, you can tell by their discipline. You know, for the Muslims I know, you know, you can tell they're very disciplined, you know, due to their beliefs. So, you know, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. You know, I've been studying Christianity for years. I read the Bible. I watch YouTube videos of pastors preaching and stuff like that. Which reminds me, I gotta send that young lady a sermon from Bishop Wilkins, who preaches at Greater Refuge Temple in Harlem. So if I'm not able to go to church in the physical, then I listen to it on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times in life we're very busy. You know, you know, and we get a little overwhelmed. And you know, as long as God knows your heart and you're putting in the effort to give, you know, and you're putting in the effort to know more about Him and walk in His light, you know, then you'll be fine. Like, don't let anybody try to make you feel like you're less of a saint, or you're less of your faith is any less than theirs, because you don't do the same things they do. You know, like God will judge them. You know, you continue to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you know, God will take care of you. You feel me? So, but yeah, man, you know, a lot of religions out there is Catholic, Buddhist, you know, yeah. Today's mathematics, so 17. So 1 plus 7, that's knowledge plus God, right? Equals what I think is 8. So 8 is destroy negativity, rebuilding. So rebuilding, destroying negativity, building positivity. Destroying negativity and building positivity. You know what I mean? So that's what this is all about. We're destroying we're destroying the bad vibes, the bad feelings that people give us. You know what I'm saying? And we are restoring them with positive thoughts. Okay? That's important. Important to know how important to know how to restore yourself. You know, restore yourself with positive thoughts. Only way you can do that is read good things, you know, Have yourself around good people, positive people. You know, that is the only way to get on that level. You know, I promise you guys that this platform won't be a clickbait platform. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on YouTube that people are talking about as far as hip hop and, you know, Jim Jones and, you know, I don't mind talking about it sometimes, but all the time it's just like trash, you know. But yeah, man, I had a talk the other day about fashion with one of my coworkers, and I was trying to explain to him, you know, how fashion Harlem, you know, has a reputation for fashion, and a lot of the different fashion styles or inspiration, a lot of fashion inspiration comes from Harlem, you know, and this brother's from Queens or whatever. And you know, he's young. Well, he's not young, but he's 40 years old. I'm 46. So you know, somewhat of a gap. And I just felt like he was just a little biased because, you know, he's not from Harlem, you know, and he kind of was getting very emotional about it. But I was just like, brother, like, you know, I was like, you ever been to the rooftop? You know, and he didn't know what the rooftop was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to choose our conversations wisely with individuals, you know, and try not to put too much energy into it or what you know, I probably could have saved myself a couple of minutes in that conversation after he said that he didn't know he'd never been to the rooftop. Not even just never been because I've never been to the rooftop because I was too young, but I know about the rooftop. You understand what I'm saying? So you know, and if you guys don't know what a rooftop is, a rooftop it was on 155th Street in Harlem. That's where all of the big time drug dealers, rappers, anybody who was getting money was coming to the rooftop. And a lot of times they would come there and they would see what people had on and they would, you know, buy the same thing and wear it in their hood, whether it was in Brooklyn or Jersey, wherever the case is, DC. Like the rooftop was that place. It was that place that you went, you got fly, you bought your hottest car out. You wore your best jewelry. You wore your best gear. Then after that, you go to Willie's Burgers, you know, and get busy. So hold on one second. You go to Willie's Burgers. You hang out there and you sit on your car or sit on the mailbox. Me and my dudes, we used to sit on the mailbox 'cause we didn't have cars then. So we would sit on the mailbox right there on 145th Street and 8th Ave, and we would just chill. We would just mac. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, Harlem is definitely a pillar a pillar of fashion. We've set trends, whether it's through music, whether it's through fashion or whatever the case is. You know, yeah, and the ladies love dudes from Harlem. You know, when it comes to fashion, you know what I'm saying? Like that's always been a thing. It's always been a thing. But yeah, man. Yeah, just want you guys to subscribe to the channel. Continue to subscribe. Continues to share the channel. Hit the likes, you know, hit the like buttons. Hit the notification bell so you guys can know every time I am on. Okay, y'all know what's going on with this ICE situation with Trump. Trump is wilding out, man. I don't know what Trump was doing. One of my coworkers said that ICE might be coming to New Jersey or New York. And I'm like, what do they do? What is their purpose? Like just to look for immigrants? And she was like, yeah, somewhat. She was like, but what they'll do is they pull people over and ask them for like their ID, sometimes their social security card, sometimes their like just birth certificate. It's just like that's crazy. If we have to start driving around with our birth certificate and our freaking social security card, that would be crazy. Like Trump, that is not fair, bro. That's not fair. You know, and these guys are making a lot of money. I heard these guys got a $70,000 raise. I heard Trump gave those guys were already making like $80,000 a year. So now they making 70, they got a $70,000 bonus, yo. I mean a raise. Like that is wild. That is wild. You know what I'm saying? And Trump, he's definitely, you know, all for it. He's not against it. Like it's this country is really getting to that level. It's like, yo, like people are not gonna feel comfortable living here no more. You know, but you know, I don't really see him in office too much longer, respectfully, because you know, it's too much going on that's just unacceptable. You know, it's just unacceptable. You know, and I just think he's gotten a little cocky, and you know, it happens. Sometimes it happens. At a second time is it for you? Yeah, sometimes that happens. You know, people get in positions and you know they get like this power trip or whatever the case is. But yeah, man, shout out to Jay Z. Shout out to Jay Z. Jay Z won 100 something $1,000 in his lawsuit that was against him. So he won it. You know, it must have held some type of defamation clause in it or something like that. But yeah, the kid who was trying to get him to take the DNA test, he sued him or sued their, you know, attorneys or whatever because he was spending money trying to fight his case. So yeah, shout out to Hove, man. Jay-Z, one of the greatest rappers to ever to do it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hove, man. Shout out to Jay-Z. Shout out to Mace. Mace, you know what I'm saying? Mace held it down for not a long time before. He had a time. He definitely had a time. You know, a lot of people remember back in the days we used to compare Mace to Jay-Z. I don't know if you guys ever did that. We used to compare Mace to Jay-Z. You know, and of course I'm gonna go Mace because I'm from Harlem. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go from Harlem. But I love Jay-Z better as an artist. I don't know if that makes sense. Like you can like somebody but still know that the other person is better, you know? But yeah, man. It's like me. I like Magic Johnson better than Michael Jordan. That's a Mike Jackson. I like Magic Johnson better than Michael Jordan, but I know Michael Jordan is better than Magic when it comes to scoring and defense, all those different things. You understand what I'm saying? So I've always been a fan of Magic since the early 80s. You feel me? So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. But yeah, man, I want you guys to continue to grind, continue to watch the channel. I'm about to go back on the floor. I'm working till 12 tonight. And then I'm going to get something to eat, chill out, and go home. All right, so I'll talk to y'all later.